Welcome to Focus Garage. Anders here. Today we're going to talk about the throttle lock. We mentioned it in the previous video a little bit, but today we're going to talk about it, do an in-depth opening the package. I already did crack it a bit, but we're going to go into the package and look at what comes with it and all that stuff, and what kind of material it is, and how strong it will be compared to other stuff out there, and how easy it is to use it. So we're going to do that, and we're going to install it on the bike, and then we're going to do a quick trial, see if it actually works or not. I'm sure it works, but we're going to test it out. So, and then after the trip, I will give you a more in-depth review of the product, how I liked it or not. So make sure to catch that as well. So, okay, let's start with opening this up and taking a look at inside and go from there. So let's go take a look at the packaging. This is a really nice packaging we have here. I already opened it up for you guys to make it easy, but it's stapled together, and when you open it up, you have the mechanism, you got some stickers, and some installation help, I would say. These are the spacers that we're going to use. You have the alcohol pad to clean it up, and a screw for the completing it, and also a tool to put it all together. So everything you need to install this device is already in the package, including the instructions. So there's a really nice instruction here showing you how it should sit and all that, and then there's an in-depth installation guide and also the parts of the body of the Atlas. So let's take a look at this, put this aside. When we look at the Atlas Throttle Lock, you'll see that it's made out of metal, and I think this is aluminum. And the way it works is that it clamps so there's a screw that goes in here, and it clamps onto the throttle. So you can remove it. The way you install it initially is you just insert this, and then there are teeth here that locks in. Like that, and then it just adjusts it, and then there are little teeth over here to clamp onto your throttle, so it's not moving, it's not sliding anywhere, so it's very secure to your throttle. So the way it works is that it sits like this. This X means like you no longer doing the cruise control throttle locking, and when you push this, it starts locking. So there's a little mechanism right here that pushes this plate up against the throttle, and you use these spacers right here to space that out. When you're installing, I will show you how you measure which spacer you need. But once you do that, it locks the throttle, and you can basically have a cruise control. And then unlocking is this, and then it just pulls the mechanism back in. It looks like a very simple mechanism, and you can move when it's locked. You can move it. I'll show you guys on the bike as well. Just like every other model, it doesn't completely permanently locks your throttle. It just creates enough friction that it's not moving. So this is a very nice mechanism. I'm just so eager to try it out and see how it is. And installation looks pretty simple. Basically, you just put these together. There's a little teat over here that goes in here, and then bam, and then you make sure that adjust it properly so it's sits very tight to your throttle, and that's it. So this is the top mount kit. If you go onto their website and look through your bike, it tells you which kit to buy, top kit or bottom kit, depending on your motorcycle, depending on what you have on your throttle handle side. So that will tell you top kit or bottom kit. So let's go ahead and install this device to the motorcycle, and then we'll go out on a test ride to see how it actually works. Alright, so let's take a look at the screw that we're going to use for this installation. And it has a thread locker, the blue one. It's really nice, and that way when it's vibrating, you don't have to worry about your screw coming loose. So that's a really plus. So let's move on to the mechanism right here. I installed it in a way that it's aligned with my thumb all the time, so like I can easily push the buttons when, you know, cracking the throttle. It's right there, so make sure that is your preference. And also mine had a spacer, plastic spacer between the grip and the body over here, so make sure that this locking mechanism is in front of it, so when you lock it to the plastic spacer, it's just not going to do anything. So there's that tip. So let's move on to the friction pads. Over here we have 3 sizes, I believe. This is the thinnest one, and then goes to second thin, and then this is the thick one. So we're going to come over here and try it out, and see that the thick one doesn't fit, and then try the smaller one, and that one goes in between. Let's just remove it. And then the really thin one, it just slides right in there, and it's pretty loose. So we're going to pick the one that it's in the middle. So you try to do that, and there's a really nice instruction on how you apply the friction pad correctly on step 2 through 5. So make sure that you follow that. That way you have a perfectly functioning throttle lock. So let's install the friction pad, and then we'll do a quick try. But we shouldn't be using the throttle lock for 24 hours for this material to stick, the glue material to cure perfectly. You need 24 hours, so we're gonna give it a real good try tomorrow once all this is good. So after playing around, I went with the thinnest one, so that gave me the best OEM feeling when the throttle lock is not activated. And also you might ask, why do we have 2 of everything? Because I mean, this is a DIY oriented installation, and you know, we're not professionals. Even professionals sometimes lose material or make a mistake, so that's why you have a second chance. You have 2 of the friction material and 2 of the screws, and that way you're not really worried about it. So let's move on to how it works. So we have the throttle, we locked it, and now it stays there. It just doesn't slide right now, and it looks pretty good. And then you push cancel, and then you can just take it out. And if you do this, you can still move the throttle the way you want. So that way, you know, in an emergency, you can just like twist it off. It's really good. I really like it. So I can't wait to test ride this, and let's do that. Magic of YouTube, and we'll test ride this and show you guys how I really actually feel. So I have done some miles with the throttle lock, and I tested out a bunch of different positions, and initially I started over here because thinking right here, but this is where I feel more comfortable. I can lock it, and then it locks in. It stays there pretty good. I'm very pleased with it. Very solid product. It doesn't slip. It doesn't, and once you lock it, you can always bring it back up, no problem whatsoever. Never had a glitch where it got stuck or something like that, and every time I locked it, it just stayed there, no matter how many bumps I went over. It's a very well built product, very simple mechanism that brings out brings a solution to a complicated problem, you know, having an electric throttle. So rather than replacing all this and getting a cruise control, this is a pretty good setup here. So we're gonna end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys have any questions about the ATLAS cruise control or throttle lock, just let me know. I will do a review, more in-depth feedback after my 2,500 mile trip. We'll see how it held up during the trip. I know the first 1,000 mile is going to be the most crucial point where I'm going to use this, because that's going to be, we're going to try to get that done less than 24 hours. So I'm going to need the throttle lock to relax my hand, switch around, like, you know, right to left. So that's going to be where that's going to be the crucial point. And I'll give you guys a more feedback end of the trip, see how much I liked it. I know on a throttle lock, different than the cruise control, is like once you lock it in a position like this, when you go up a hill, you're gonna lose some speed because you have the same throttle position, but you would need more engine throttle input for the engine to go up the hill
but you're not gonna, so you're gonna lose some speed. But you know, you can adjust it a little bit. Like you can, even if it's locked, you can like come back a little bit and set it however you want to do, and it's an easy solution to that problem. But we'll let you guys know how it's gonna be after that 1,000 mile. So thanks for watching. If you guys haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so and hit that bell notification to get all the latest videos. And if you guys have any questions, like I said, you guys can reach us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for watching. Kudos to all.